And welcome back, students. As we get into another lesson on exception handling basics, let's discuss today the topic of exception classes. So, getting started, there are more exception classes out there than just the single class exception. We've seen exception pretty much in use. Now, there are more exception classes that are obviously available, therefore, in the Java libraries, and you can also go so far as to define your own. All the exception classes in the Java libraries have, and the exception classes you define should have, the following properties. There's a constructor that takes a single argument of type string. The class has an access method, getMessage, that can recover the string given as an argument to the constructor when the exception object was created. Alright, so this is going to tie back into our whole scheme of try, throw, and catch. So when you use together, the try, throw, and catch statements are the basic mechanism for throwing and catching exceptions. The throw statement will throw the exception. The catch statement, or the catch block, will catch the exception. The throw statement typically is included within that, therefore, of a try block. Now, when the exception is thrown, the try block ends, and then the code in the catch block is executed. After the catch block is completed, the code after the catch block, or blocks, sometimes you might have multiple, is executed provided the catch block has not ended the program or performed some other special action. If no exception is thrown in the try block, then after the try block is completed, program execution continues with the code after the catch blocks. In other words, if no exception is thrown, the catch blocks are ignored. All right, let's quickly just take a little segue here and discuss exception classes from that of standard packages. Now, there are numerous predefined exception classes that are included within the standard packages that come with Java. The names of predefined exceptions are designed to be self-explanatory. You think about like input mismatch exception. It means that your input mismatches what was expected. Now, some other sample predefined exceptions include things such as IO exception, so that means input-output exception, a no such method exception, a file not found exception. Obviously, the last one is probably really plain and clear of what that means. Now, the predefined exception class exception is the roof class for all exceptions. And when I say roof class, it means it's kind of like, the overarching one. Every exception class is a descendant of the class exception, that it is derived directly from the class exception, or a class that is derived from the class exception, or arises from some longer change of derivation, ultimately starting with the class exception. So somewhere, someplace, exception is at the root of all things here. Now, you can use the class exception itself, just like we did in the advanced lesson 2, but you are more likely to use it to define a derived class of the class exception. Now, the class exception, of course, if you recall, is in the java.lang package, and so, because it's within the Java language itself, it does not require an import statement. All right, that's going to wrap up this lesson for today, folks. It's kind of a real quick one to kind of introduce the concept that, yes, there is more exception classes out there. So, we will see you next time.